knows, perhaps you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. And that's where our title comes from. Mordecai said, listen, God is going to save his people. He wants to use you. But if you choose not to be obedient, God will bring somebody else in and you will be destroyed. But perhaps, Esther, perhaps God brought you here to this very difficult point in the history of his people for such a time as this. And this, of course, takes our minds back to chapter 1 and 2, where we remember that God has removed Queen Vashti, and God has brought Esther to the royal position as Queen of Persia. And perhaps God was doing all of that, Esther, for such a time as this. Now, back in chapter 1 and 2, if you were living in that time, you would have really no idea why God is doing this. Why did the Persian queen refuse to go into her husband's chambers? Why did the king of Persia get rid of his wife? Why is it that Esther is the one that was chosen to be the queen of Persia? At that moment, they didn't understand all of the story. Now, of course, we understand it reading back, but they didn't understand it. And it's a reminder that in your life, you're not going to always understand in the moment why God does and allows things to happen in your life. Is that not true? I mean, you can look back years later and say, I see why God allowed that to happen. But at the moment, you don't understand it. You're just living in the ebbs and flows of God's sovereign hand, and you have to remember that. But Mordecai says, Esther, perhaps God has chosen you for such a time as this, which moves us to the next scene, scene number 7, the cry to God.